Hello, welcome to Exclam Chess. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at a game that was sent to me by PlayerOnChess.com, whose username is Babbling Rook. Okay, and so he sent me this game and he wanted me to take a look at it because he was losing throughout the majority of the game because he had made a mistake early in the game. And eventually he kept playing and was able to come back to win the game. And so he wants me to take a look at it to see what he did right and what his opponent did wrong that allowed him to be able to come back and win this game. Okay, so let's go ahead and just jump to move 37, because this is actually where I'd like to start. So here, as you can tell, he's down a considerable amount of material. And so right here, black goes ahead and plays h4. And after g takes h4 and bishop takes h4, this is the first factor that starts to play a role. The white king starts to become, over time, more exposed. And this is one of the first moves that kind of leads to that. Okay. Queen b2 check, f6, rook b1, g5, queen b7, rook c7. Obviously, black doesn't want to exchange queens. He wants to keep any material he can on the board. Queen takes a6. This move is a little more greedy than necessary. White's, of course, still winning here. But this move does place the queen slightly less active than she needs to be off to the side of the board. And this is another factor that starts to add up to white losing, because now some of his pieces are less active than they could be, and again, white's still winning, but he could make it easier for himself than this. This is making things more difficult than necessary. G takes f4, knight takes f4. And now the white king is a little bit more exposed, so now the white king does need to be careful, because he doesn't really have any pawn cover anymore. And with the white pieces out of play over here a little bit, they're kind of far away, and what winds up happening is they won't be able to come to the defense of the king. Queen d2 check, knight e2, rook c3. And right here, white's actually still fine. But king to f1 is a pretty big mistake. And it would allow queen to e3, which could then threaten checkmate on the next move, and then white would actually be completely lost in that case. In the game, rook to f3 is played. King g2, rook f2, and white right here actually could be fine still, even if he plays king to h1. White can still save himself, but king g1 is the final bad move that loses the game for white. Queen g5 check, king h1, queen g2 checkmate. And so white really made several mistakes in a row that led to this happening. So probably the three things that all added up to this was, first of all, white allowed his king to become too exposed. 2, his pieces became out of play on the side of the board. And also, third, maybe part of why white allowed himself to make all these mistakes is maybe he was becoming careless because he was up material. That may have played a role. Sometimes, once a player gets an advantage, sometimes they forget that they still need to keep playing, and they stop paying attention to what they're doing. And so that may have also had an impact on this. That's happened a lot in my games, and I've wound up on both sides of that. My opponent not caring, and me coming back to win, and also I've sometimes been a victim of that. When I get an advantage, I sometimes forget, and then something bad happens, I wind up losing my advantage. Okay, so I hope that this helped you, and that this helped answer your questions with what accumulated to your being able to come back for a win. Okay, thank you all for watching. That's all for this video.